Oh man, episode 8 of Magi is probably my favorite episode thus far. You really get to see the ins and outs of Alibaba, a little bit of his past so far, and just who he is. We get to learn a little bit about this Kassim character, and honestly, it was really just something pretty deep and a little bit more edgy than the typical, backstory of shonen stuff. Learning about Alibaba's mom, that she was, in a nutshell, a prostitute in the slums, really gives you some wow, some very powerful feelings towards the character and his past. Looking at that, I'm like, wow, because I've seen some dark past, but I've never seen anything quite like that. He was a street rat. His mom was a prostitute. He had a pretty hard life when he was little, and same thing goes with that Kassim guy. And it's a classic showcase of one person surpassed all that. One person kind of had it good, because basically in this episode we learned that his mom basically slept with a king from a kingdom, and that made Alibaba a prince. Meanwhile, Kassim had to stay in the slums, and you could see that Kassim resented him for it. And when I saw it, like, Alibaba, since he really didn't want to believe that his friend just was despising him and wanted to get rid of him for it. He wanted to look at it as his friend was looking out for him. But to be honest, when I saw it, I noticed immediately Kassim was just like, get out of here, you don't belong with us. That's how I looked at it. So seeing what the overall outcome of that relationship and what Kassim ultimately does, burning down the kingdom, saying tie him up and everything, I kind of foresaw it. I seen that kind of coming in a way. Still doesn't explain, and I hope it gets explained, why is Alibaba working with him now and actually even being chummy with him, because somebody did that to me. Personally, I'm going to tear their head off, So seeing that definitely was very interesting. And really, Alibaba's backstory is what made this probably my favorite episode, just to see how tragic it is, how sad, how he had it hard, this relationship with this Kassim guy. And it really just adds for an interesting development with the character. Get to learn more, see how much he's changed and how far he's coming away. And, I really enjoyed it. Now, this episode definitely has a problem. The main problem that I can see with the episode is within the animation. Is that I don't know if they were trying to do this artistically or trying to save money or whatever, but there's a lot of still frame shots where, like, the characters are supposed to be in motion doing something, but they just show a panel sliding by. And that's probably the biggest problem with this episode, is within the animation, that there's a lot of those instances. And me personally, I look at a lot of those stuff and it kind of gets me a little bit annoyed. It's like, why just not show the action while they're doing it? So, I don't know if, again, they were doing that artistically or it was just like being lazy on the animation, but that was probably the overlining a problem within this episode, because overall I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good episode. It shows in a way Aladdin, how he doesn't really want to doubt his friend too much, but when his friends, because he never had friends for a long time, and that was one of his wishes. So when his friend basically rejected him when he went to give Alibaba the handshake, and Alibaba turned away and kept walking, it got him depressed and he just wanted to be alone. And that's really sad. I felt bad for Aladdin at that particular point. Morgiana, again, she's freaking awesome. I loved how she just broke into the thieves' place and grabbed Alibaba and just started jumping. Like, I want to know the full depth to her strength, because we've seen her in battles and whatnot, but she's jumping up roofs. She stomps on the ground and it cracks. I want to see, like, her in the most craziest battle. I really hope we get an epic Morgiana battle. That's something I personally want to see, because, like, even in little instances like this, just small things, her grabbing Alibaba, being able to jump from roof to roof with a grown man holding him, that's something that shows that she is truly a strong character. And I love it that even little bits like this, because this was mostly a Alibaba past-centric episode, like just really getting to learn his past for the most part, but we still get little tidbits of that. We feel a little bit bad for Aladdin, because I know I definitely did when I saw him, like, his one friend that he'd been dying to see him. It's been 6 months since that separation, even though the episodes, there's only been a few episodes since they separated. It's been half a year. And he'd been looking for Alibaba ever since. So for Alibaba to basically reject him in a way at that moment, I know that must have really devastated him. And it's just for interesting development. We get to see more how they'll thrive and grow. And if they come out of this as friends, their friendship will be stronger. So that's definitely good. But I just really like the way it was handled. Kind of dark. Some scenes look very dark. And it just really shows the depths of Alibaba and what he's been through, and it kind of makes you appreciate the character a little bit more. That was really what this episode for me personally did, is like, I appreciate Alibaba a lot more, because now I understand what he's been through. To have a mom that was a prostitute, then learning you're a prince, and then go through your best friend, basically, because he still looked at Kassim as a good friend, best friend for a long time, to then come into the palace and burn it down and say, tie him up. Really just shows that the character's been through a lot and gives you a deep appreciation for him. Let me know what you think, though. Are you on board with me saying this is probably like your favorite episode, just learning how much of a tragic past? Because like it's just with any other series. Like you take One Piece, some of my favorite parts of there is learning about the past of some of the Straw Hat characters, and nonetheless, it's the same with this. Like in the very beginning, when we see Aladdin just wishing, I just want a friend. That really gets you, and then to see this with Alibaba, that really got me as well. So, Magi, just keep being awesome. That's really, I hope this anime just keeps being awesome. Again, this episode isn't without problems because the animation with the slides is like, that's kind of lazy animation. They could have done better. They could have just showed them in actual motion. So, not a big deal, but, I do got to critique where I see a fault, and that's definitely one problem. Let me know what you think, though. Were you on board? What did you think about, as far as Morgiana? She just grabs him and jumps from roof to roof. It's like, god damn. And do you want to see Kassim get his ass whipped? Because I definitely want to see him get torn down for what he did. And he's just jealous. And like that's one thing I really hate is people that are jealous. So Kassim, for being jealous of Alibaba, I hope he gets rocked. I hope Alibaba kicks his ass, or even Aladdin, Ugo, or even Morgiana, any one of them kick Kassim's ass, because jealous people deserve to get their asses kicked. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you can't wait to see the conclusion. Hopefully they show it, of Alibaba's past and why he's currently teaming up with Kassim now, after Kassim seemingly, tried to kill him. That's all I have. I'm from Neverworld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.